Alrighty friends, let's see what day 3 or look number 3 is gonna be. Ooh, okay, I'm gonna do a ghost. Now, I was specifically inspired by this specific look from Alyssa Marie Artistry. This is actually a look that she did back in 2021. I just so happened to come across it on Pinterest. I just think it's such a cool take on a ghost ghoul interpretation, and I love how kind of glam it is, so I wanted to do my interpretation of that. Okay, second attempt blocking at my eyebrows. Maybe I just severely underestimate how thick my eyebrows are, but like, this is what we're gonna work with, okay? So I'm gonna use my white pigments again, the Athena palette, and I found my little metal mixing palette thing, so I'm gonna use that instead today. To be so real with you guys, I didn't have the best day today, so I'm actually looking forward to this as like some makeup therapy. But I do have Trixie and Katya reacting to Yellow Jackets season 1 on my laptop. So if I'm not talking too much in this video, it's because I'm trying to watch some stuff. So I'm probably gonna need more for these eyebrows because still didn't do the best job. I'm going to use a little bit of the black pigment in here to start adding in those shadows as like a nice base. I just want to accentuate basically the hollows of the eye. And I'm just going to use this to kind of help me trace that out a little bit. And then I'm going to use just a little bit to carve out where I want like the contours of my face to be. Okay, so that's good. I'm going to use eyeshadows to add most of like the depth and fun, but we're gonna set all of this in place first. Eyeshadows is definitely, I think, where I shine. So for shadows, I think I want to stick mostly in the blues and purples and blacks vein. So for my blue and purple, I'm going to be using my ColourPop Matte About Hue palette. And then for the black, I've got to use my Noricorn palette because Soot, that matte black, I feel like obviously is going to give exactly what I need it to. I'm going to start first with So Casual, this dark navy blue in the ColourPop palette. I'm just going to start first here in this hollow of my eye, as well as this outer hollow here. What's really going to add the depth is when I add the black shadow on top. So this is more of just like for the fun colors that I want to add. And then I'm going to use that same brush and dip into fun, this super dark purple and pack this right on top. But this I'm going to start concentrating a little bit more because I feel like this will almost be more of a transition for the black. I feel like you can really see here how the concentration of the two colors almost lean very black without even having to use any black shadow. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush. This will be good. It's kind of a fluffy flat brush. And I'm going to use kind of the same colors to come down here in the socket. I'm going to go first in with the dark purple, and I'm going to concentrate this part of your eye that kind of gives that sunken look. Okay, I also want to smoke out the bottom lash line, so I'm going to use the same brush that I was just using, but I'm going to start with the blue first and put this all under the lash line. And now I'm going to go in with that dark purple. Okay, so I feel like this is good for the eyes for now. We're going to jump into the black shadow now. So I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to concentrate this right on the eyeball, almost like as if you were doing like a halo smoky eye, outermost part of the eye, and kind of blend that into our smoked out colors. And then the innermost half of the eye. And same thing, kind of blending it up into the colors. Now I think I want to do a halo eye, kind of leaning towards obscura here. So I'm going to leave the center of the eyelid bare. Okay, now that we've got our darkened eyes, I'm going to take a thinner flat brush and I'm going to concentrate this as close to the lash line as I can. I feel like my sunken eyes could use just a very hint of black. So whatever is left from this really thin brush, I'm not adding any extra. I'm just gonna very lightly, you can see, it's almost like I just drew a line, create almost like a crease, just like that. and that just adds a little bit of depth to the eyes. I'm gonna do the more like sunken cheek look. Yeah, I'm gonna use this little like fluffy brush. I'll use this sometimes like for regular contour. I think I'm gonna use my real contour actually first, just to kind of not go too much too quickly. This is the Sephora collection light to medium contour powder, and I'm gonna start right here, right in the contours, and like I said, I'm gonna blend it down. It's a ghost, so like it's okay if it doesn't look super perfect, but you know, we still want it to look good. I want to bring some of that blue and purple in here as well. So since we're using a big brush, I'm going to dip just a little bit in my blue and use my hand to kind of help spread it out across the brush and then go on my face. It gives me a little bit more control. So now we're going to do the exact same thing with the purple. Dip it and blend it out in my hand first. And this I'm going to bring it a little bit more true into the contours of the face rather than higher up like I was the blue. I'm also going to add a little bit to the forehead. I almost forgot. We're looking spooky, we're looking creepy. Just use a little bit of black, same thing. Blend it, see how intense that is already? Use it just to deepen the outer part just a little bit. Whatever's left over on my brush, I'm just gonna do the end of my nose. Unfortunately, I do need to dip into a third palette in order to do this, but just a bright white eyeshadow. I'm using the Glaminatrix Grounded palette. Brighten up any white that I want. Center of the chin, just as if I was like highlighting like normal. Dead center of my forehead right here. And then a little here like in the center. To finish up the eyes, I think I'm leaning towards Obscura in my Noricorn palette. So I'm just gonna use my finger and just tap this all over the center. Okay, we're almost done. I'm going to do the lips. I love what Alyssa did. She basically used like the same eyeshadow first to like add a blurred line around her lips and then went in with a lipstick. I'm going to do the same, and I'm just going to use this flat brush, and we're going to just blend this all the way around the mouth, almost like a lip liner. And then I could have swore that I had a MAC black liquid lipstick, but I can't seem to find it. So I'm actually gonna use this to do my lips, just with black, and then I'll just use the eyeshadow and everything to help blend it. If you have like a liquid lipstick or something like that, it's probably better you use that. I think I want to add some of the glitter that I used earlier, so I'm just going to make sure that I set this with a little bit of powder. I'm gonna just tap this first in the center and then kind of slowly blend it out across. I also thought something that could be so cool to add to this look, black tears coming down out of the corners of my eye. So to do the tears, I'm going to use the same trick that I did for my last video, the bloody rhinestones. I'm going to mix some eyeshadow with some micellar water. Okay, I actually do happen to have a little pipette. Oh my god, wait, this is gonna be like dope. Okay, wait. I'm gonna start from like my outer corner. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. I feel like that's good enough. I kind of don't like what happened here. I'm gonna let it do its thing. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'm just gonna use a black eyeliner, tight line, and do my waterline, throw on some lashes, and yeah, change, do a little something, and get the finishing look. So I'll be right back. Alright guys, here's my final look. Don't mind the hair. I wanted it to be a little bit more stick straight, but we're working with how my hair wants to function. I turned my lighting down so that way we could really take in the spooky vibes, the eyeshadow and everything. I'm actually really proud of how this came out. I feel like especially the eyeshadow came out really, really good. I really love how this iridescent eyeshadow plays with the overall vibe. I added it onto the teardrops as well, just to really add a little bit more fun glam to the look. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for your support for these looks for Halloween, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.